Don't Breathe is directed by Fid Alvarez and stars Jane Levy and Dylan Minnette, and tells the story of three misfits that rob a blind guy's house, but they don't really know what he's capable of. So, with no doubt in my mind, this is probably one of the most anticipated films of the summer for me, behind, Suicide Squad and all those big movies, but Don't Breathe is actually, surprisingly, turned into a sleeper hit, claiming the #1 spot at the box office this week. And for good reason. I believe it is currently at an 86% certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, which for a horror movie is pretty damn good. So at the beginning of the movie, it really is character development, which I really like, because movies like this, when they have a successful plot that seems interesting, they really forget all about the characters and the backgrounds of the characters and just kind of jump into the story. And Stephen Lang as the blind man, I mean, how can you not like Stephen Lang? I mean, I know that he's been in a few TV shows, he was in Avatar, the dude just has talent, and now he plays a blind man. So, all the tension really builds up the second they break into the blind man's home, because honestly, you just know it's about to go down the second they start making noise. And something I'm really liking about horror films nowadays is that for jump scares, they don't use sound effects. They know when they're creepy, so they sort of leave it at that. The Witch did that perfectly, and now Don't Breathe does that exact thing. Because the scariest thing in a horror film like this is the anticipation of a loud noise to make you jump. And you're just waiting and waiting, and when a scene happens where there should be a jump scare, your heart just sort of jumps on its own. And let's talk about Fid Alvarez, the amazing writer and director who also, I'm not sure if he wrote it, but I am positive that he directed my favorite remake, Evil Dead. I have seen Evil Dead at least 25 times, and guaranteed I'm going to be watching Don't Breathe way more, because this movie is a modern horror masterpiece. With no doubt in my mind, one of the best films to come out this summer, better than, big movies like Suicide Squad and all those huge box office smashes. This is a great sleeper hit to end the summer. And from the first frame, you are trying to find the mistakes in this movie. There are things that seem like mistakes, and you call them out. But then once the film progresses, you figure out that that small scene means a lot. And even though sometimes they make that a little obvious, they'll zoom in on like a weapon or something, they're pretty much saying, oh yeah, this is going to be used and later in the film, so watch out. With a movie this intense, they don't really need to do that. And Jane Levy, she is amazing in this. As all of her other films, I will watch anything with her in it and guaranteed love it. And since I really need to cut this short because I can't spoil anything. I don't want to spoil anything. I would make this a spoiler review, but I know that some people will randomly click on a spot trying to find the rating and then accidentally spoil the entire movie, so I'm not going to do that. And since there are just so many small things that I could just randomly utter that will ruin the entire film, I'm not going to give away much, except really just the moral of it and what I thought. If you think you know how this is going to end, and if you think you know how it's all going to play out, you are wrong. There is no way to predict what is going to happen in Don't Breathe when you go into it on the first time. Exactly like 10 Cloverfield Lane, I had no idea where they were going to do next. But they just kept tugging and tugging until the rope just finally broke and your tension was gone. Until the end. From the very first shot, it's confusing. And it sets you up for something crazy. The writing was perfect. The direction was perfect. The cinematography was over the top. Horror movies with good cinematography get a good rating from me. That is all I'm going to say. If you want to see Don't Breathe but think it's too scary, you're probably right. This movie was horrifying. There was not one moment where my heart was not pounding. It's bloody, it's twisted, and just so unbelievably unpredictable and beyond savage. Don't Breathe is one of the most horrifying films to come out in recent years. It has the blood, it has the tension, and it has overall horror. Don't Breathe brings everything to the table for pretty much horror fans and beyond. This is definitely a new cult classic. I hope they don't make a sequel because it is perfect on its own, but I could see where they could possibly make a sequel out of something so little. So to keep this one extra short, I'm going to give Don't Breathe an A. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'm sorry that I haven't been really active. It's, beginning of the school year, I've been busy and whatnot. So, guys, what's coming out next week? Don't want to see Yoga Hosers. I do not want to see that. Don't like Kevin Smith. Let's not. I really want to see Morgan, and then the next week, I really want to see Sully. So, hopefully I'll get to those, and thank you guys for watching.